So if you're brand new and you're like, one customer would be great at this point, or if you've been around for a while, you have a big goal you're pushing for. I think what happens a lot of times is we gauge at this point on today, the with 3 more days left. We sit back and we go, is this realistic? Right? And we're like, is it realistic? Am I moving the needle enough? Do I have enough influence? And then as we're having these thoughts, rank up promotions start rolling in. And everyone and their mom seems to be promoting. And you're like, whoa. And it's almost this overwhelm in a good way of all the people having success. And then it kind of makes your goal feel a little bit less realistic because you're like, ah, it feels far away. Okay. And now, granted, I'm speaking to a lot of you guys who have maybe been in queue for a little bit. So if you're like brand spanking new today, we're going to get into some work and it's going to make more sense as we get into it. But something I have learned is you kind of have to take off your network marketing hat, like put it on a shelf, and you have to put on your business hat, which fortunately and unfortunately, they're two very different things. And the MLM hat is the one that's riddled with comparison and stuck. And I don't know if I'm good enough. And also, I don't think I have time and all the limiting beliefs. A business hat would be like, this is just what I do. I take it Friday to Friday. We're going to move the needle. This may be my month. It may not. It doesn't matter. That doesn't impact my work ethic. And I think that's the key, because if you think your goal is too far, for some reason, boom, we all get paralyzed and your work ethic dips. When in any other circumstance, when it comes to business, it's like, we're just going to keep trucking along and move the needle. And some months are going to be huge because we're the Apple store and we launched an iPhone this month and like, wow, this is cool. And then next month it's going to go way back down because we didn't launch an iPhone this month and it's like normal. Yet in MLM, we're like, I feel like a failure when we're on the roller coaster, right? So I say all that to say, just throwing out some numbers. Again, if you're new, you might be like, huh? But just follow me for a second. If you are shooting for elite, okay, that's 4,500 in volume, okay? And wouldn't you rather, I mean, just really, wouldn't you rather end the month at 4,100, just shy of elite, and feeling like you got some really good new blood that's excited to do this with you, then decide today when you're at like 3,100 that it's not for you, so you just halt all activity and stop there? Like, that's how you have to think of it in your head. This isn't always about hitting the landmark you were aiming for. This is about capitalizing on company momentum that was literally handed to you like a plate of gold, by the way, and just going, staying steady and consistent week to week, Friday to Friday, non-negotiable for yourself. Because let me tell you what, when the new month rolls over, you will feel proud if you didn't stop. Even if you were just shy, you were like, I literally did everything I could. I stayed in the right frame of mind. I worked my tail off. I was there for my team. I showed up and I didn't stop till midnight. What more can I do? If you stop though, then you see someone who joins tomorrow and they go elite, that's not going to feel so good, because you're going to be like, I literally could have worked at least the last couple of days and at least gotten further. And then you feel disappointed in yourself, and you're actually not disappointed in yourself. You didn't hit the rank. You're disappointed in yourself because you stopped trying. Okay. So that being said, didn't mean to preach. um, for my next closing, just kidding. So I want to show you guys how I work every day. Okay. And if you are new to Q, you might be like, whoa, okay, this is a lot. Cause you might have just watched your like onboarding video or whatever you have for your team and like filled out the form and made a list of your first 10 people. And you're like, where do I start? Right. So you do want to have a call with your mentor to kind of tackle first goals and the fast start bonuses and kind of what that looks like and really why you're even doing this. All that's important. But the dust will settle eventually, and you actually will just need a good day-to-day routine. And I personally believe that you can do a routine in 20 minutes a day, 30 minutes a day or 3 hours a day or 8 hours a day. It doesn't matter because we tackle the same 3 or 4 activities and you just set timers based on the time you have available to yourself each day. So time blocking is probably your issue more than feeling overwhelmed and not being able to fit it in. 9 times out of 10, that's what happens. Okay. So what I do for work when I have 1 hour, now 50 minutes, is I spend my first couple minutes getting organized. You may already be organized. Congratulations. That's not me. Sometimes I need just like a little touch base. Okay. So I'm literally going to set the timer for 2 minutes. And what I do is I get my lists of people kind of categorized and I decide, okay, here's kind of the people I want to follow up with because they've already seen Q or at least agreed to look at Q at some point or another. Okay, so that's this cluster of people. Then I have my list. Newbies, this is for you. You're like, I did make a list of 10 to 20 people I've never talked to about Q. I don't even know really where to start because I'm brand new and I know nothing. Or I've been around for a while, but I do have some people I'm building relationship with, and I could probably invite them to take a look at Q. Here's that group. Okay. Lastly, your group of people that like, they seem cool. You know them, friend of a friend of a friend, maybe haven't talked to them in a while. Like where we don't jump the gun on relationships. We prioritize people here. We're not going to mass message random strangers and go cold knocking on doors. So we got to build relationship. Who are those people that like, I probably would love to work with them. They seem so legit, but I'm not close enough to them to go, hey, you're free tonight at 8, right? Like I might need to build a relationship since she's had a baby since we last spoke. Ooh, okay, don't bring up it. Okay, because y'all know the companies that jump the gun on that. Okay, so 2 minutes, organize those categories. I need to become their friend more. There's someone I have a relationship with. I'm ready to invite them, just need to know how. And then these are people I actually have already invited and they never told me no. They're just stuck somewhere in that cycle, whatever that might be. 2 minutes, organize the list. That way we can get into action. Here we go. Okay. Timer's already off. Ooh, a few people jumped. They're like, ah, God, Kristen. Should have like played methodical music or something in the background so I didn't make you jumpy. Okay, I know that was only a couple minutes to get yourself organized, but I want to like dive in. And honestly, I don't know about y'all, but I like to do the stuff that has the potential to maybe freak me out first. Like, can we just knock it out and get the easy stuff later? And let's be done. So everyone has, regardless of whose team you're on, you probably all have some sort of events that you know of that are happening tonight. Okay. For example, check your team chats, your team pages, whatever, and decide what event you, based on your schedule, you're going to plug into. Okay. Now, you don't have to do the legwork. That's the fun part. So even if you're just on the Zoom and you're inviting your people and you remind them beforehand, it's not like you have to be you can't do anything during this 30-minute block because you have to be laser focused. You could have it propped up during dinner. You could have it, in your pocket while you're getting the babies in bed. Like, it's just about getting logged in based on your schedule. Okay. If you don't have any to use, I have one tonight at 7:30 p.m. Central, which is 8:30 p.m. Eastern. And then I also have one, if you are my Pacific Standard people, I have one at 7:30 p.m. Pacific time as well, which is actually 9:30 p.m. Central. Okay, so I have one at 7:30 Central and 7:30 Pacific. So feel free to use any of those. Okay. Mine specifically are going to talk about every country, but I do have a large group of people from Canada that are growing and expanding right now. So just be forewarned, I will be talking about that and the potential in the Canadian, Australian markets. Okay. Okay. So here's how I like to invite. And I think it's best to keep it simple. And if I've learned anything, I've learned a lot from Jake Spencer, the president of our company, who, by the way, has over a decade of experience literally leading teams of hundreds of thousands of people in this industry. If you didn't know, fun fact. I've learned a lot from him, but one thing that I take with me every day I'm working is that we are not selling a product and we are not selling a comp plan. We're really just selling a person. Because in this industry, it is not about what you know, it is about who you know. Because people always ask questions when they're looking at an event or looking into an opportunity. And usually their only questions are, does this make sense? Could I do something like this? And is somebody going to help me? So when you overeducate them, they're not going to think it makes sense. If you have to be the expert and you don't use the system and you're overselling it, they're not going to think they can do it too. And if you, again, are overselling it and being the expert and being the go-to, who are they going to think is going to help them? Because who's helping you? Make sense? So you, as the person presenting this information to them, have to be quiet. My sister, Risa, she's amazing and brilliant. She calls it peak pass. She piques their interest, passes them to someone else. By the way, she's an integrative health coach and knows a heck of a lot more than me and probably could school everybody on this entire product line, but she also knows business and she knows it's not about what she knows, it's about who she knows. So she edifies me and lets me do my thing, right? So this is how I invite. I find out and I qualify their time first. So I would reach out, even if you're brand new or not, to your people that you feel comfortable inviting. I would say something like, hey, hope you're having I hope you had a good weekend. It's Monday. Hey, hope you had a good weekend. I know this is kind of random, but are you free tonight by chance at blank time? Whatever time. I have something I would love for you to check out for me. And I put the pray hands emoji. Literally, I'll put it in the notes of this chat just so you guys can have it if you want it. Don't worry, you don't have to follow some weird script or anything. If you don't sound like me, don't talk like me, but just for reference. I'm going to put it in the chat here so you guys can have it. Literally, that's what I sent to every single person. Hey friend, hope you had a great weekend. I know this is kind of random, but are you free tonight at 7:30 because I have something I really want you to check out for online for me. Do you guys notice do you know now why I always say don't jump the gun? Because can you imagine getting a message like this from someone you hadn't talked to since high school? Hey friend, hope you had a good weekend. Are you free tonight? They'd be like, awkward. We haven't talked. And then you're going to get ghosted, right? So that's why this is your gauge. Are you comfortable sending this message? That's how you know if they're a good enough friend. Simple, right? If you don't feel comfortable sending this message, ask yourself, is it actually that they're not a good friend or am I just full of fear? Because that's also a good discernment check. Because sometimes you're like, yeah, no, we need to build more of a relationship for sure. And I'm like, it's your mom. You're just acting afraid. Let's get it together. So don't let fear hold you back, but use discernment. Okay. After I send this message, they're either free or they're not. So I get one of three answers. Yes, I'm free tonight at 7:30. Why? Why are you asking me? They're always curious, of course. Or somebody says, no, I'm busy tonight. So sorry. Why? Why are you asking me? They want to know. Or if they're like me, they're going to say, it depends. Why are you asking me this? Because they're skeptical. Either way, you now know who you're dealing with. They're either free tonight, so you can invite them, and they're pretty like chill and nonchalant. They're not free tonight, so you're going to ask them to catch the replay if they wouldn't mind. Okay. Or you're dealing with someone who's skeptical. So you're still going to invite them, but you know going in how they may respond, right? So it's good preparing you almost, right? So this is what I like to say if I am new, and this is the part I really like to send in an audio message because I just find it's really personal and you can show your excitement. But can I just quickly add a disclaimer? If you're really monotone and like awkward, we all can admit it, right? Like, oh, I'm kind of awkward on the phone. I'm not like one of those excited sounding people. Just either let's work on it, do some personal growth and type it out for now. Or if you really, really want to go for it, send it maybe to your upline first, have them listen to it and make sure you don't sound like tortured. Okay. Because nobody wants to get a voice message from you being like, I actually wanted to see if you would do me a favor. I am inviting a few specific people to get, it's like painful, right? Because you can tell you're reading. So you got to like let it roll off the tongue. If you're not ready to do that, that's okay. But let's work toward that because voice messages are like ideal. Okay. So what I like to say is if they say they're free, I say, okay, awesome. I want to see if you do me a favor. I am inviting just a few select people or a few specific people to get on an online event with me at that time. This kind of diffuses them a little bit by saying, I want you to do me a favor. So you're asking them for a favor instead of I'm doing you a favor. Allow me to tell you about it. Like a lot of MLMers do. So you're asking them to do you a favor, but you're also saying you want them to hop on an event with you, showing them that it's something you're also attending, but it's not something you're putting on. Okay. Then you can kind of add in the edification piece. If you're new, I would say like, I haven't told a lot of people this yet, but I am actually in a new health business. And one of my mentors that has had huge success in this company is kind of taking me under her wing. She agreed to share a little bit about the company and the products with a group of people for me. I would really love to hear your thoughts on it all. Can you come? Okay, I'll send this in the chat in just a second. If you're not new, you can just say, obviously I'm in a business, but I have somebody I want you to meet. My mentor who has had success in this, who's taken me under her wing, she's written the systems that my team is using to create insane success for all these people coming in. She agreed to share a little bit about the company and the products with my friends. I want to see what you think about it all. Will you come? So see the difference. You can kind of talk a little bit about your team's success. And this is the mentor that's kind of written the system you guys are using. And she's why you've had the success you've had. Or you can say, look, I haven't told a lot of people this, but I'm in something new. And either way, you're kind of edifying a mentor. Notice how I didn't say Q Sciences. I didn't say vitamin sprays. I didn't say comp plan. I didn't say volume. Nothing. It's just inviting them. This is new for me, putting my feelers out there. Are you open to taking a look? Is this making sense to everyone? I didn't mean to turn this into a training. I really do want us to start working now. But I want you guys, everyone has that first part of the message, right? Qualifying their time. So that's what we're going to send out first. Here's the rule. I'm going to set a timer for 5 minutes because you got to get out of your head. 5 minutes. And the rule is tweak it, make it sound like you. Don't be weird. Remember, by the way, I had a girl that sent this to her own sister who was downstairs in her townhome. She copied and pasted my message. Hi, friend. Hope you had a great weekend. Her sister was downstairs. They live in the same townhome. Her sister thought she was hacked. Don't be weird. Okay. So I'm not saying copy and paste it. Be normal. I tell people that story sometimes and they think I'm joking, but it really happened. But I want you to tweak it, make it sound like you, pick the time, and then send it. Outgoing messages only. If they start responding with, yeah, I'm free, not I'm free, why do you ask? Ignore it. Ignore it. Ignore it, ignore it, ignore it. Outgoing messages only, 5 minutes. Send as many as you can, because once you do this, there's no turning back. Then we just have to kind of come up with the invite message that sounds good and personalized, and it's okay to make them wait. We're not desperate for anybody here, right? All right, so we all have that message. I'm setting a timer for 5 minutes. I'm going to put the next type messages, the wording I gave you guys, I'll put it in the chat for this next section, but let's start here. Okay, here we go. 5 minutes. Ready, set, go. I feel like I had to say that. Countdown. Ready, set, go. Okay. Time is up, and you guys have to be like honest with me. How many of those messages did you get out during this period? Drop a number in the chat and don't lie. Because for me, I got to get out of my head and like bam, 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 knock them out. Oh, okay, Denise. Maybe let's not start off with Denise next time. She's going to make us all feel horrible about ourselves. 7 over here. No, okay, that's good, good, good. 3, 9, 7, 4, 3. Okay, this is good. So keep on 9, 7 more. Okay, amazing. Here's the deal now. We need to make sure that we keep sending these out, but as you start to get responses, that's where you want to kind of store the verbiage. Okay. So I am actually just going to copy it all. And you're new. I'm just going to put like a little disclaimer. Okay, there's the message for if you're new. Why did it send weird like that? Did it send weird to you guys too? Or can you see it? You can see it good? Okay, cool. For some reason it looked cut off on mine. So that's if they say they are available and you're someone who's new to Q. Okay? You're not new. If you are not new, then that's the one that I would send. Just very small tweaking. Granted, I did have, as part of the edification process, I have like, she sits on our board of advisors. This chick knows her stuff. Like, obviously, whoever you're inviting to, you can edify them appropriately. I'm just using like myself as an example, how people on my team word it. So the other thing is, can you see now why too an audio message would be kind of nice? Because it looks like a big chunk of a paragraph, but when you're sending it in audio, it actually is under a minute. And so it's one audio, which is really nice. And you don't want to be like that overkill 9 audio messages in about how much you love this company kind of thing, right? So those are just my, oh, cute. My husband's calling me. Hold, please. Priorities. Hi, I'm on a power hour with like 49 people, but what's up? Obs, I'm going to answer. What's up? Okay, that's cute. Oh, that's cute. Well, got to get back to work, but see you soon. Okay, love you. Bye. Just calling for no reason. Get out of here. Just kidding. He's on his way home with the kiddos. Okay, so that's kind of how I word it. The only change I make if they say they're busy, okay, if they're like, oh, I'm busy, I can't make anything tonight. The only change I make, I literally say the exact same thing. Like, go up to that one first chunk I sent where if you're new, I say the same thing except for saying, okay, great. I go, oh, no worries, right? Because they're busy. I actually want to see if you do me a favor. I'm inviting a few specific people to get on an online event with me at that time. Same verbiage, blah, 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 all the way down. I'd really love to hear your thoughts on it all, especially since it's so new to me. Instead of saying, can you come? I say, do you mind if I just send you the recording afterwards? Really simple. That's the only thing I tweak. I keep it the same. And I find 9 times out of 10, if they're responsive, they're going to be willing to check it out. Then it's just a matter of getting them out of the follow-up wheel where they actually watch the video, which I'm going to give you my tips for here in just a second. Okay. So let's spend just a couple more minutes. Literally, we'll do 5 more. Okay. 5 more minutes. And I want you to keep sending that first qualifying your time message, because I know some of you came to this with like a list of 20 people you want to invite to the event tonight. Great. Let's send out those first messages over. Maybe just save the verbiage of the other messages for later. Here's the other thing I want to tell you guys as well. This is where your support system and your support chat really comes into play. If you have an upline or mentor or sideline that you work well with, even if you don't have an upline or a mentor, like just a sideline, even somebody on this call, as you're getting responses, once you've sent the actual invite, like, will you come to this event tonight that my mentor is doing? Based on how they respond, don't just kind of go with your natural instinct on how you are going to respond back. Instead, send a screenshot like in your support chats. send a screenshot, be like, how would you guys respond to this? And the only reason why I say that is because even if you have 10 years of experience in this industry, sometimes we have learned along the way in Q that people are really resistant towards certain like ways of wording things. And you guys can tell with this invite, it's very non-invasive. You're really just asking someone if they're open to taking a look or not. And it's okay if they say no thanks, that's fine. But they might say, well, what's the name of the company? What kind of business is it? What type of company? Is it network marketing? What kind of products do they have? Can you send me your link? All of those things, you would think the answers would be really simple. Q Sciences, health and wellness. Here's my link. It's all these products, da da da. But you're going to get yourself in a position where they might say, see one product on our website and be like, oh, I already have something like that I take. Never mind, I'm not interested and I'm not coming. Right? So we have to give them an answer without being weird, but also encourage them to come to the event, because that's really what we're looking to do, is getting them exposed to the big picture, not just sent your link. Okay. So we have some verbiage of kind of how to work around those things without being weird. Like, no, I can't give you my link because you have to hear my mentor talk. Sorry. Okay. So I'll help you not to be weird. All right. So 5 more minutes. Send out as many more messages as you can. If you're done with the first initial messages and you want to now go back and start sending out invites as they've responded, that's great as well. Okay. Here we go. For people that you wouldn't talk to like that, Michelle, just really quickly, don't send this message to them. We're going to talk about them next. So these are only people you have a relationship with where this kind of conversation would not seem weird to them. If this kind of conversation would seem weird to them, that's your discernment kicking in that no, it's not the time. And we're going to talk about that group in a second. And by the way, if you're sitting here and you're like, crap, I don't have anyone I feel comfortable sending these messages to because I have like 0 friends right now and I'm rebuilding from scratch, don't be discouraged. I got you too. It's coming next. Okay, you guys keep working. I'm just going to answer some of these questions. Do you send that if the person who you talk to? Okay, yeah, we already talked about that. Okay, Grace, I'm dying laughing because literally ask Ashley Fairchild. She's on here. I have always put her babies to sleep. I don't know what it is about my voice. It's very high pitched and annoying. So I have no idea how this happens. But I put the most rambunctious kids to sleep every time. It's wild. Okay, that's all. I thought there were more questions than that. Sorry. I'll keep going up and looking. Okay. All right. Time is up. Hopefully you guys have gotten some of these messages out. Here is the key to these power hours. And this is the hardest part about time blocking is you're going to be tempted as responses keep coming in to get sucked in and keep responding to them. I want you to put this activity to the side. Okay, we have 20 more minutes. And the reason why is because I want to help you guys learn if you only have 1 hour to work in your day, minus all this like in between talking I'm doing, think of how efficient you really can be. You can get a crap ton done in an hour, you guys. So the whole illusion we create that like there isn't enough time in the day is really just because of our own addictions to our phone. And we have to put that activity to the side, and we'll revisit some of those messages when I give you 5 more minutes at the very end to do what I call workday shutdown. It's where you would return to any unread messages that are going to make you feel anxious before you have to disconnect and go be mom. In my case, if I have like unread messages or there's something pending or whatever, I tend to be in work mode still, which to my kids looks a lot like impatience and irritability. And so I can't do that. I have to go into workday shutdown so I can really be mom and show up and not feel like this looming, I've got something I'm supposed to be doing behind the scenes. Does that make sense? Okay, so what we're going to do for the next 10 minutes, a full 10, is we're going to do those other categories. Okay. The first one is that follow-up category. If there's anyone you've ever reached out to about Q before. If you haven't, if you're new to this company, keep doing what you've been doing so far. Just the inviting, the confirmations, all of that. Make a note of anyone that says they'll come. Make a note of anyone that says no. Anything like that, start the organization part of it now. For those of you guys who have been around for a little bit and you have people you need to follow up with, what I love about Q Sciences is we don't call it follow-up because we're not like, are you ready now? Are you ready now? Are you ready now? Are you ready now? 5 to 12 times, follow up, follow up, follow up, driving them crazy. And really, they're just not ready yet. Instead, we call it additional exposure if needed. That's written into Jake's system he created for a reason. And it's because even though the phrase, the fortune is in the follow-up is true, statistically speaking, via sales, in our company, we know that it's just about exposing them and dripping Q on them enough times until they are ready. That's just the truth, right? So this is what I like to do. You're going to go to anyone how many of you guys have ever had someone that said they would watch a video, but you don't know if they've ever watched it because they ghosted you, or they may have watched it and they said, well, I'll get to it later. They were going to watch all that, right? This is what I like to say to them when I'm following up. In fact, I actually just helped my friend craft this message earlier today because she had so many of those that were going to do it. So I'll try to find it and I'll send it to you guys. Oh yeah, here it is. She wrote this out. I just helped her tweak the wording. She put, hey love, hope you had an amazing weekend. Okay, I don't know if you had a chance to watch the video, but I'm kind of hoping you haven't seen it yet, with like one of those eek faces. Okay, because tonight my mentor and really good friends who's truly locking arms with me and who I started this with is speaking tonight on Zoom to give people the same overview. I would much rather you hear it from her. Are you free tonight at 7? Right? So you're almost like saying, oh God, I hope you haven't done what you told me you would do 3 weeks ago. But you're like, oh, I hope you haven't seen that video yet because tonight's the event I really want you to come to. And here's why. Okay, so that's an approach. Another thing you could do is say, hey, I know you came to the event the other night with my friend Brittany. I don't know if you're free tonight, and I know you're still thinking about it, no pressure. But tonight, my friend Kristen is doing an overview as well. And I feel like you would love her. You guys are very similar, I feel like, or something, right? Come up with a connection of, I know you heard the information from her, but I really want you to hear from this person now. Because everyone's presentations are different, and maybe they just didn't absorb all the information the first time, right? So it's really, again, additional exposure if needed. Hey, I know we talked about that sleep spray. You were going to talk to your husband about it, but are you free tonight at 7:30? Because my friend Kristen's going to talk about all the products we have to help with sleep. Because we actually have a huge product line, right? Anything like that where you can do little tiny drippings, even a customer. Hey, I know you ordered the core. I can't wait till it gets in. I'm going to track your package for you here in just a second. But are you free at 7:30 tonight? Because I really want you to meet my mentor. She's going to talk about some of the new products that we just had launched, and I'm curious to see your thoughts, right? Like you could literally be additionally exposing people all the time because every presentation is different. And Q keeps handing us company momentum by releasing brand new verticals to the whole world. Where we're like, oh, and here's another thing to invite them to, right? So that's just kind of my idea when they're in the follow-up wheel. I also, just a little tip, do not send a video to people without also qualifying their time first. So if they can't make it to an event and they say, send me the recording, instead of going, okay, great, here's the recording, and then like hoping they reply, I say, okay, no problem. I'm super bummed you couldn't come tonight. It was so good. It ended up being about 25 minutes and I have the recording. Is now a good time? I just tell them, I'm like, it's about 25 minutes. Is tonight good or should I send it to you tomorrow? I almost like make an appointment with them to watch it because they said they would watch it. Like that's on them. Don't commit if you're not going to. And then if they don't respond to that, I'm like, see, they weren't going to watch the video. And now I'm not all worried. Like, did they watch it? Did they not? Because she's not even responding to me. Wouldn't you rather that? And so I qualify their time first. Basic too, you could literally, like sometimes we overthink this. You can literally just say, hey, did you have a chance to watch that video yet? I'm super eager to hear your thoughts. Like that's okay too. If you already said that once, I wouldn't make that my next go-to. Now is a good time to be like, hey, I know you're super busy, but I kind of hope you haven't watched that video yet. Eek, fingers crossed. Because I'm really wanting you to hear from this chick tonight that I just met because she worked with me for an hour, even though she's on our board of advisors, I guess. I don't know, blah, blah, make me sound cool. It's always weird to coach on that. Make me sound cool. She answered the phone, talked to her husband. She rambled on for like an hour. It was weird, but it's fine. You should come hear from her. But you get my point, right? Additional exposure if needed. Qualify their time. Don't be pushy. If they have, general rule, ghosted you when you sent the video, you already asked them if they watched it, they still ignored you again, it's time. Like I'm like a 2 strikes you're out kind of chick. Like if I sent it to them and they agreed but they ignored it, and then I said, hey, did you watch the video? I'm super eager to hear your thoughts, and they still ignored it, at that point I, for the most part, just look to be their friend. I find an in another way. I have them on like an intentional engagement list where I'm just loving on them. I try to be of service. try to remain visible, think about them, like, comment on their stuff, and wait for the right time. Right? So that's just kind of my thoughts. Okay. So we're gonna do now. We'll do 7 minutes. We're gonna do 7 minutes, and then we're gonna wrap up at the end. If you don't have anyone to follow up with, what you could do on the opposite end is engage intentionally, like by building relationship. That third category we talked about. And the way I build relationship is I don't go, "Hey girl, it's been forever. How are you?" Because they're like, "Oh, she's in an MLM." Isn't that funny, but kind of true? Like, what mom sits at home in her free time messaging people like, "Oh my God, we have kids the same age. We should be friends." They're like, "Oh, okay, she's definitely in MLM." Like, cat's out of the bag. Nobody does that in their spare time ever online with no agenda. They know we have an agenda. So instead, I find something on their page that I want to talk to them about. Like, "Oh my gosh, your reel about blah, blah, blah just had me dying laughing actually out loud. It totally made my day. P.S. Congrats, saw you were pregnant." Like that kind of thing. "I loved this. Where did you get that thing? I really like that recipe you posted. Can you send it to me? Because I want to try something new. What color shades is that in your background? I love the forest green. Is your kid 6? He plays baseball, right? My kid's interested in baseball." Like, find something to ask about specifically in their inbox instead of just, "Hi, let's be friends," because it's awkward. Okay. Anyway, 7 minutes. Here we go. Okay, timer's up. Last but not least, couple things. 4 minutes, and then you guys got to go into your next wave, whatever that looks like, right? Maybe it's mom, maybe it's another business, maybe it's back to work, maybe it's cooking, maybe it's more Q, whatever it is. But I hope you guys see like the power of timers, how they can kind of jolt you into that next activity and hold you accountable to that, so that you can stay on track and set those expectations for your family and show them that you're not just the 5 F's and Q's all about family first, but you actually show them that, right? And demonstrate it by being a little bit more structured and disciplined with your time. So I want you to take the next 4 minutes, and then just log off whenever you're ready. I'll end the meeting for sure when it's time's up, but go ahead and log off whenever you're ready, once you're fully disconnected from work and ready to go into your next activity. So take a few breaths, scroll your Facebook, empty your inbox, check unread messages, make a post if you want. I didn't talk a ton about social media this time. Scroll some reels, get a good laugh on, watch a YouTube video. I don't care what you do, just do something to disconnect, and then go ahead and log off when you're done, or I'll end the meeting in 3 minutes. But I appreciate you guys being on. I hope this was productive. I will post the recording. If you're on my team, I'll post it in my team page. I'm going to have a power hour post with all the recordings in the comments. That way anybody can grab one of these recordings and do a power hour anytime. If you're on a different team, ask your platinum or higher leader, because I'm going to put it in the platinum chat, so that they have access to it. So hope you guys have a great day. Thanks, everybody. Bye, guys.